സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഫീൽഡിലെ എമർജിങ് ട്രെൻഡ്സിനെ പറ്റിയിട്ടാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ നോക്കുന്നത്. സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഫീൽഡ് ഒരുപാട് ചേഞ്ചസിന് വിധേയമായിട്ടുണ്ട്. ദർ ആർ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ചാലഞ്ചിങ് ഫാക്ടേഴ്സ് ഓൾസോ ഫേസ്ഡ് ബൈ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ്. Based on this, we see a lot of new trends are being introduced into the field of software engineering. Now, let us see what are the changes that happened in the recent years in the field of software engineering. We can see that the price of computers have dramatically dropped. Then the internet has become so popular, and even the networking technique have been changed. Lot of progress has been happened in the field of networking techniques. The usage of mobile phone has a very rapid increase in the field of software technique. And same way, very recently, a lot of cloud systems have been introduced. So these are the changes that we have seen in the field of software. So these changes introduced some challenges into the software engineering side. So what are the challenges? On the software size is increasing to a higher level. രണ്ട് കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻസിൻ്റെ ഇമ്പ്രൂവ്മെൻറ്റ് ഇൻക്രീസാണ്. ഇതൊന്നും കൂടാതെ ഹാർഡ്വെയർ വളരെ പവർഫുള്ളായി മാറുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതിനനുസരിച്ച് അഡാപ്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ചേഞ്ചസ് സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ സൈഡിലും ഉണ്ടായേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. Moreover, online and distributed software demand is increasing to a maximum level. So considering all these factors, the challenges also, as far as a change is happening in the field of related field of software engineering, challenges are also increasing. So depending upon that, we have seen that some development has been happened in the field of software engineering, and many of the software have been converted into as a client server software. Then you have something called service oriented architecture, software as a service. So these are the three important trends in the field of software engineering: client server software, service oriented architecture, software as a service. What is client server software? So client server software will have two important components. One component will be installed in a high-end server. Another component will be installed in the client machines, user machines. So these two components will be tightly coupled, and they communicate each other for a smooth functioning. So both client as well as servers are essentially software components. Client is actually the consumer of services, and server is the provider of services. So putting them together, makes a client server software. There are a lot of advantages for a client server software, like concurrency, loose coupling, flexibility, cost effectiveness. So in the case of client server software, you need only at least one high-end machine called a client, and you have only one component out of the entire system to be installed in the client machine. So and all the user machines, the client machines will be of less cost, and you can adapt to heterogeneous hardware. In the case of client server software, fault tolerance will be high. Mobile computing can be effectively used. It is an area for client server architecture. Application service provisioning and component based development are all advantages of client server software. Similarly, set of disadvantages also there for client server software. A primary disadvantage is regarding security, and the effectiveness of the server side software is also sometimes becomes a bottleneck for smooth functioning. And similarly, you have disadvantages like compatibility and inconsistency of this system software. So these are the disadvantages of client system architecture. And if you see in detail the client server architecture, actually it adopts two-tier architecture and a three-tier client-server architecture. In the two-tier client-server, you have server-side and client-side, whereas in the three-tier architecture, you have a middleware too, sitting in between the client and server. It performs so many functionality. So in the two-tier architecture, there are only two components, whereas in the three-tier architecture, you have server, client as well as a middleware also. So what is the function of middleware is that it keeps tracks of the address of servers. And same way it translates between client and server formats of data as well as instructions also. And there are two popular middleware standards. One is CORBA, another one is COM, DCOM. So these two are two different popular middleware standards, CORBA and COM, DCOM. Common Object Request Broker Architecture is called CORBA, Common Object Request Broker Architecture. Actually, this depends upon the object design policy of software engineering. So it is actually a specification of standard architecture for middleware. Client can transparently invoke a service of a server object. That is the advantage of using CORBA. It also automates many common network programming practices also. So same in the case of CORBA, if you see a detailed structure of CORBA reference model, there are actually there are 5 components. One is the ORB, object bus. Then you have set of domain interfaces, set of object services, and common facilities, and set of application services. This is actually something called CORBA reference model. On the other hand, COM DCOM represents component object model or distributed component object model. In COM, all the components are binary objects, exe, COM, DLL, etc. It can be generated using languages such as Visual Basic, etc., Visual C++, etc. So the model is always binary objects. Now in the case of DCOM, Distributed Component Object Model, it is actually extension of Component Object Model COM. It can operate on networked computers. That is the main difference between COM and DCOM. Using DCOM, development is easy compared to CORBA, and same way much of the complexities are hidden from the programmer. So COM and component object model and distributed component object model. So in addition to client server architecture, we have something called a service oriented architecture, SOA. In service oriented architecture, actually it is purely based on object oriented designing. So it is actually building up of applications by composing software services. So an example of service oriented architecture is Nitty-Gritty. And on the other hand, we have something called a software as a service. So this is otherwise called software delivery model. It involves the customers to pay for a software for a period of time. So it depends upon per unit of time what is the usage. Depending upon that, you may have to pay for running the software. So the price reflecting the market price, supply and demand. It depends. It is not a constant value. It may depend. So these are the different concepts of new trends in emerging trends in the field of software engineering.